All right, welcome to episode 19 of Life is Horror. Today's episode will be about my top 19 favorite horror movies of 2019, and this will be the sequel episode. I'm going to talk about a bunch of part twos that recently came out this year. The Barn 2, Becky 2, called Wrath of Becky, and Horror in the High Desert 2. So, but before we get into those three movies in my top 19, which I already made one back in 2019, I did a top 10 that year, but this will look a lot different because I've seen way more movies since then. Just like my 2018 list in my last video was a lot different from my other 2018 list from back in the day. So, yeah, stick around for that. But first, let's talk about a few horror movie updates. So, Fede Alvarez, one of my favorite horror movie directors working today, did the Evil Dead remake. He did Don't Breathe, and he worked on Don't Breathe too. He worked on a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, which I really enjoyed, but a lot of people fucking hate it for some reason because no one likes anything new. That's a franchise film. I don't know why people don't like the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. I really don't, but whatever. I think it's fantastic, and he was involved with that movie, and he's directing the next Alien film. Fede Alvarez's Alien has officially gotten a release date for August 16th, so almost a year from today. A year from this week, as of this recording, we'll be getting another Alien movie. And I think this one's supposed to be like a sequel. I think it's a direct sequel or something, or it's gonna be like in between one of the films, from what I heard. And I don't think it's gonna be a direct continuation of Covenant or Prometheus. I think it's just gonna maybe go back to basics and go back to the first two, maybe be in between those or something, like kind of like how Saw X is going to be in between Saw 1 and 2, which I guess I could talk about that. I haven't talked about that, so let's throw that into the mix. I don't even have it written down here, but yeah, Saw X, let's talk about that real quick. Am I excited for it? I mean, I think I might have brought it up on this channel months ago when it was announced, but now we've actually gotten a trailer and we have an official title and official cast. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it. I wasn't sure how I felt months ago, but now that I've seen the trailer, and now that I know it's being, it's in between 1 and 2, and they're going back to basics. They're not repeating the same mistake that Spiral made, which is easily the worst in the franchise in my opinion. I just strongly dislike that movie because it's not a Saw movie. It's really not. It's missing all the elements there. It's like some knockoff Saw movie to me. I really just don't even want to talk about it. So, but this one, they're bringing back Jigsaw, the actor Tobin Bell. They're bringing back the doll that was missing from Spiral, and his voice will be back. It's not going to be that shitty voice in Spiral anymore. And yeah, it just seems like from the trailer they're going back to the formula. They're going back to what works in this series, and I like this series. It's one of my new favorite franchises. I think the continuity is pretty strong, and I like how the story builds in each movie. I like these movies a little bit more every time I watch them. I don't watch these movies quite frequently, but I did just go through them again after hearing about Saw X and seeing the trailer. It kind of got me excited, and I went back and watched them all again. Not all of them, but most of them. And yeah, they're pretty good. So I'm looking forward to Saw X. That trailer was pretty good. And Kevin Greutert, who directed Saw 6, one of my favorite sequels in the series, he's directing this next one. So yeah, got Tobin Bell back, and it looks like he's going to be way more involved. And they're saying that this is going to be the longest one in the franchise, which before Saw 3 was the longest at like an hour and 50 minutes. So this one's going to be probably around 2 hours, but it's going to have a lot more Tobin Bell in it. So that's exciting. But it's got the same writers as the last two movies, so that's I don't know. Maybe they can pull this one off well, unlike the last one. Super obvious and terrible. Whatever. Yeah. So Saw X, that comes out September 29th, and that got moved. It actually was supposed to come out in October, but they moved it a month earlier. So that's exciting. We get it a lot quicker now. Scary stories to tell in the dark from 2019 this year. This episode's all about 2019. It's funny. Yeah, that one's. They're still talking about a sequel. It's not like 100% confirmed. It's still in its early development. They're still thinking about it, according to the director of the first one, who just did the recent Dracula movie, The Last Voyage. He who directed the first one said recently that there's still talks to make a sequel to Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which is a movie that's based on those books that we all knew growing up. You know, those books, my sisters used to have them lying around. Those drawings, man, those drawings were the scariest part. Not necessarily the stories, but just looking at the pictures. That's all you needed. They were quite terrifying. I liked the first one, not a whole lot. It's PG-13. It was kind of tame, not that scary to me, but it was still the visuals of it. I really liked not really like I liked the first one enough, but so I'm not super excited about a sequel. I don't think they really need one. Although I do remember that movie kind of ending very much like setting up the next adventure, like she's gonna go get her friends back or something. So I guess there's room for a sequel definitely. But am I like they need to make one? Do I really want one? Not really. I don't care if they make one or not. But yeah, so that's an early development. And another thing that was announced very recently is Street Trash is getting remade. Another cult classic is getting remade from the 80s. I never would have thought this one would get remade. But I guess it's popular enough, and it's gonna be from the director of Fried Berry. Now, there's my concern. I saw Fried Berry, not for me. Just did not work. It was too goofy for me. It was just I checked out so early, and I just wanted that movie to end. It was probably one of my least favorite movies from that year. I think it was 21. So Spiral and Fried Berry, those were like bottom five of the year for me. I just did not like Fried Berry. So, and if I'm being honest, I've reviewed Street Trash, so you can hear my thoughts on Street Trash if you want to go check out the Patreon review for Street Trash. But I'll just say really quickly, I'm very lukewarm on it. I'm just like, I like the effects, like what they were going for, but man, that's another movie where it was just like the humor. I didn't think anything was funny. And that's all I heard going into it was like, oh my gosh, you need to see this cult classic from the 80s, Street Trash. People blowing up and melting. It's so awesome. It's hilarious. And I'm like, where's the humor? And I see the humor, but it's not working for me. It just did not make me laugh at all. Like, I have no, desire to ever rewatch Street Trash again. I was just so very blah on it. I was like, like I'll just watch. I'd rather just watch like a clips, best of thing on YouTube than watch that movie again. But I'm sure at some point I'll give it a second watch. Maybe the humor will work this time around. Sometimes expectations kind of ruin your first experience, especially when you think it's going to be hilarious, but then you're like, it's not that funny or funny at all. But now that I have that in my mind, maybe on rewatch, I'll go in with that mindset, and maybe I'll think it's actually not as bad as I remembered, or maybe it'll actually be funny this time. I don't know. Maybe I was just in the wrong mindset that day, but I just remember not laughing at anything. So, but yeah, Street Trash is getting remade. A lot of people are excited for it. Whatever about it. Maybe this one will be better. But hearing the director who's doing it and not liking that film from that guy, not liking his, his style in that film, I'm not very excited about this. So, yeah, count me out. But I'll check it out for sure. Just this out of curiosity to see if it's actually better than the original. So yeah, Street Trash, Scary Stories, and Alien. We're getting just more and more sequels and remakes on the way. Every week, I have so much more to announce. It's crazy. Um, so yeah, let's get into these reviews. Part twos, a bunch of part twos here. Let's get the negative one out of the way. All right, let's talk about Horror in the High Desert 2. Minerva? What's that say? Yeah, Minerva. So the first one, I had to watch it right before I saw this one because I hadn't seen the first one or heard of it, but it came out like the year before this one, so they kind of rushed this one out really quick after part one, which is a sign that's a bad sign. And this movie, let me find it here. So yeah, this is a very short found footage movie. The first one's found footage. This one is too, and it is. Let me find it. Sorry, hold on. It's all the way at the bottom. It's there. Wait, fuck. Where is it? Jesus Christ. All right, here it is. All right, so the mockumentary film, boring mockumentary that stretches scenes out longer than needed, desperately trying to create suspense with sound and, lack of sound and long shots of nothing. So this movie just bored the shit out of me. I actually thought the first one was all right. I didn't love it, but I think I gave it like maybe like a 3 out of 5. I thought it was okay. The third act I thought was the creepiest part when you see this thing like in this dark field and it's just walking towards the camera. But then they kind of start to show this person a little too much in the first one. And then this one just kind of goes away from that story. Like, we don't see that thing again in this one. In fact, I don't remember seeing shit. Let me look at my notes. It's been a few months since I've seen it. It feels like a totally unnecessary sequel that doesn't answer any questions from the first and never once got interesting. They bring back the journalist character and make reference to Gary Hinge at the very end, which sets up another movie. So, yeah, we're going to get a third movie, apparently. It's nowhere near as unsettling and does nothing to expand the story. The story lacks focus and a good mystery. The first half is about a dead Korean girl, and the second half about a missing mother, and they have no connection to each other. And like, I just didn't like any character. Like, they just show character. Okay, they're dead. Okay, this person's pulled over on the side of the road. They hear something, and then now they're missing. And like, nothing was creepy to me in this one. I didn't understand who all these characters were, like what their connection was, like what was happening. Like, they don't explore shit. Like, what's going on in this desert? Like, I don't know, it just didn't appeal to me. It just bored the shit. I mean, there's just so many shots that linger for so long, and it's not even a long movie. It's 76 minutes. It didn't even need to be. They could have trimmed 10 minutes out of this thing. But yeah, that was just my big problem with it. It was just boring. That's all I can say. Boring. Story did not do anything for me. Didn't even understand what I was watching. So yeah, next movie will be, let's talk about The Barn 2. So, The Barn 1 did make my list of whatever year it came out in. I really liked it. I did a Patreon review for it. I really dug it. And then I was really looking forward to this one. Same director and writer. And so I kind of excited going into this, and I was a little let down. But I still thought this movie was okay. And I'm just stalling because I'm looking for it. There we go, I found it. All right, so this got its wide release in February. And so, yeah, this is a throwback B movie. It's very low budget. And, set in the 80s or late 80s, early 90s. And so it's got, a lot of horror alumni, famous horror actors. We got Linnea Quigley. She was in the first one also. And Ari Lehman, first Jason. A lot of homages here. Has a huge body count, gory kills, and gratuitous nudity, but doesn't match the level of charm and hilarity that the original had. This one just, to me, was nowhere near as funny, and the kills weren't as well executed. Um, the quality of the effects definitely dropped here, and the setup of the film, the first act, I thought was a tad boring. Just meeting these new girls, the sorority, the dialogue, the acting, not that good. It wasn't that good in the first one either, I'll be honest, but still, like, it had a charm. And this one, I'm just like, okay, please, let's get to the barn, because I'm not liking these sorority chicks. I'm not liking their dialogue. I'm not liking the pacing here. Let's get to it. So yeah, quality effects, monster designs are drastically cheaper, rubber looking. The acting, horrible. Some of it probably on purpose, but not a good excuse. So this one plays out like the Funhouse Massacre in the second act with a haunted barn attraction that seems way bigger on the inside than, which is, that's a lot of movies, like Evil Dead. It's like it's way bigger on the inside. On the outside, it's like, wait, how is there that many rooms in this fucking attraction? But, and then it turns into Night of the Living Dead in the third act. It's what it felt like, just kind of zombies. Josh and Sam from part one, they return, but only briefly, which I feel was a huge mistake. Like, they should have returned from the first one, and they should have been a bigger part of this. Like, at the end of part one, they go into hell. Like, that's the cliffhanger. They are going, like, into hell, into this portal to fight the evil. And I think they give us like a small glimpse of what was down there in one like little flashback scene. Like, the whole movie should have just been that, but I guess maybe budget restraints, whatever, prevented that. But this whole movie should have been them in hell fighting their way back out, or at the beginning, at some point much earlier on, they get back out and then they're in the movie more. But them coming back out of hell like towards the end, that was a letdown. You know, and why not go to the barn alone and do the ritual to bring them back? They didn't need the haunted barn attraction to do it, and they cost so many people their lives. Yeah, like so we find out that these people that are like related to the Josh and Sam, they're doing this whole thing to like get them back from hell, but they're costing all like they know all these people that are like paying to go through this haunted attraction. Like they're not telling them the dangers. Like they know like this is about to happen, but they don't give a shit. Like how selfish. Like we just want so and so back, so we're gonna get all these people killed. Like they're just cannon fodder. Like oh whatever, just, let's get all these people murdered so that Josh and Sam might come back. Like they don't know if this ritual's gonna work. They might just get all these people fucking murdered for no reason. I don't know. Like so that reveal, like these are the main protagonists, these two chicks, and then like this is what they're doing. Like that's pretty evil if I understood it correctly, that's what I got from it. It's like, okay, so they're doing this to, and they're costing all these people their lives. Like, why couldn't they just go to the barn alone, do the knocking ritual, say whatever they needed to say, Candyman, 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 like whatever it was, and see if it got their brother or whoever they were, to, if it was their boyfriend, I forget, I don't know, boyfriend, brother, whatever. Like, they didn't need all these other people there to get killed. But it provided a huge body count, so I guess that was the whole point. We just need extra bodies, we need kills. The zombie thing was just them trying something different, but begs the question why they didn't do this in part one. So it's like it kind of goes against part one. Like these people, they died, then they come back as zombies. Well, no one in part one that I recall when they died, they never came back as zombies. So why is this happening now? Um, the music had its moments, but not in the same caliber as the original. It ends with a teaser for a third, but it doesn't excite me for more. This should have shown Josh and Sam's journey into hell. Um, yeah, so the reveal of why the girls set up the haunted barn attraction makes them seem really selfish and idiotic. So yeah, that was a big problem I had. Mm. I appreciated the continuity, same actors coming back, playing the same characters, the kids getting killed on screen. Yeah, there's kids that get killed on screen just like part one, so kids aren't safe in this one. And I like the Halloween vibes. It's got a lot of. It's a good movie to watch during October because there's a lot of Halloween shit in this. The atmosphere of it, all the Halloween decorations and shit. So I liked all that stuff. I'm a sucker for that. But yeah, this one was a letdown. It's nowhere near as good as part one. Like if you loved part one, I don't think you're gonna love this one as much, just like me. And if you hated part one, I don't see anyone liking this one if they hated part one. So yeah, if you hated part one, stay away from this one. This was definitely a drop off. All right, so next movie, Becky 2, The Wrath of Becky. So we got Lulu Wilson returning to play Becky, and now we got Sean William Scott as the main bad guy instead of what's his face from part one. Seems like they want to keep bringing these comedy actors to play the villains in these movies. I forget the other guy, but he's known as like a comedy actor, and now he was playing like a Nazi, and this one's like the same thing. We got like this. This is the same movie as part one, so again, like if you like part one, I think you'll enjoy this one because it's basically the same shit. It's like John Wick, but a little 16-year-old girl. They take her dog and they kick her ass in her own home, and then she has to go get revenge. It's a revenge movie, more of a horror film. It's a revenge, gory comedy, but I will say right now, I think I prefer this one over part one. Maybe I've seen part one twice, and my appreciation of it went down a little bit on rewatch. I forget why, but I just remember thinking that. Didn't like it as much on rewatch, and this one might happen again. Maybe I might not like this one as much on rewatch, but for now, I enjoyed it enough because I'm a sucker for revenge movies. And so, yeah, this is a much more unrealistic version of the previous film with the same type of villains, another comedy actor playing the lead bad guy, and constant flashback reminders of the original, which I was not a fan of that. There's a lot of weird editing choices in this where there's like showing you again and again, like, here's part one, remember this scene, this again, like every 2 minutes you were seeing footage from part one again. I'm not a big fan of that, but it is fast paced, entertaining. Been here, done that revenge movie with gory practical effects, ridiculous kill setups, and even daydream fantasy kills just to fake out the audience and add some more blood. Which I'm not sure how I feel about that. That kind of bugged me. But I'm glad they didn't overdo it. They only do it like maybe 2 or 3 times where like she's doing something, you're like, holy shit, and then it's like it's all in her mind. You're like, oh fuck that. Like I wish that really did happen, but it didn't. So a lot of movies have been doing that lately. I've noticed there's a couple of other ones I saw that do that. They have these like daydream fantasies. And so you get your typical gearing up montage. It's like they got like a scene right out of Commando. And, the cool looking shades, she puts the shades on. So yeah, this movie's self aware. It's not being original at all. It's just borrowing from a lot of other like revenge movies and action flicks, and it's got all those little moments that you're familiar with. Gearing up, putting on the shades, she dressing up like a badass, and she's very smart. And Becky narrates the story this time around, and is living with who looks like Deadpool's roommate. That's what I thought. I thought it was the same actress, the woman she's living with. I think she's blind too, or deaf, or something. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm mixing up with Deadpool. Like she's blind in that, but she looked like her in this one. Um, the fact that spilled coffee is to blame for the next 80 minutes is funny to think about. That's all it took to set everything in motion. Spilled coffee cost so many people their lives. And the home invasion to set up Act 2 felt like a tour page out of John Wick. The opening is corny, and the ending is ultra absurd and over the top. Becky went from using lawnmowers and pencils in part one to farm machinery and bazookas in this one. Like I said, over the top. I mean, it is unrealistic as fuck. She's Commando in this. That's what she is. And so, I wish there could have been a couple more villains to kill, add to the body count with the wide range of weapons that they show in the barn. I wish we could have seen more kills in this. I think there's only like 3 bad guys, maybe 4. Just wish there was a little bit more. I mean, the movie's already unrealistic. It's unbelievable. So why not have her kill some extra people? I feel like maybe that's why they added the daydream shit. So it's like, it feels like you're getting extra kills because of the fake kills that she's thinking about. It's like Final Destination in a way. You get the fake kills in the beginning, and then they take it all back, and then they die for real later on. The Christian foster parents should have came back into it somehow as the noblemen members, and they realistically would have killed the dog at some point or many points in the movie. Like they don't kill the dog in this movie. I'll spoil that. And why not? Like these characters, there's no fucking way they wouldn't. Especially with how pissed off they're getting at Becky, and that's the whole point of her being there. She's like, I want my dog back. And once she kills 1 or 2 of your men, it's like, why wouldn't you just kill the dog? At least do that. She's already pissed off. Just kill the dog. Like, fuck you, bitch. Like, they would have killed that dog at so many different points. There's a reveal about one character, and I saw that coming. Like, they keep talking about this person that's supposed to show up, who's like the leader of their group. It's not Sean William Scott, someone else, and they just keep saying her, and it's like who her is going to be because of one scene early on. You're like, I know who it's going to be. So, but I don't think this movie's riding on that reveal. It's like it's not supposed to be this mind-blowing twist, but it's like it was predictable. You knew who that person was going to be. At least I did. So yeah, that's all I'll say about this. They break the fourth wall. There's some fourth wall breaking. So yeah, it's very silly. It's over the top. Not to be taken seriously at all. It's just about her getting revenge and killing these like neo-Nazis who are like secret. They're like planning to take out the senator because they don't agree with their policies or whatever. Some politics in this, but not too much. And yeah, so if you just want to see Becky, a 16-year-old girl, use bazookas and crossbows and kill these people who deserve it in gruesome ways, then check it out. If you liked part 1, I think you'll like this one. I liked it slightly more just because of its absurdness. I liked that it was a little more just self-aware, and it just had fun with it. This was different directors too. This was different writers, different directors than part 1. And if I remember correctly, they did the Open House movie from 2018 that a lot of people hated. So maybe that won't sell you, but I thought that movie was, meh, I didn't hate it like other people. All right, so let's quickly go through this list as quickly as possible. Brightburn, my top 19. Here we go. Number 19, Brightburn. I think this was on my top 10 when I made that list a few years ago. This is a killer Superman movie. Really, it's Superman if he was a boy, teenage boy, going through puberty, and then discovers his powers and realizes that he can take over the world, and he's not using his powers for good. He's fucking shit up. And there's some good gory bits in here. Uh, could have been a little bit more in the third act when all the cops show up. I just feel like it's a little rushed. There could have been more there, but still very well worth your time. Really enjoyed it. And I do have a review for this one. Freaks. Now, this is more of a sci-fi film than horror. Um, yes, thriller, sci-fi, but I'll count it. And this is from the two directors who are going to direct the next Final Destination movie, if it ever actually gets made. I don't know, hopefully. Not with this strike going on right now, but yeah, this is about freaks who have these powers. I don't remember too much about it, but I remember enjoying it. It has Bruce Dern in it, and I think I just really liked the family element of it. The father, the daughter bond, living in secrecy, and the government's after them. It's a little been here, done that, but I enjoyed the ride. I liked the characters, the performances. Who else is in here? Emil Hirsch, from that's the guy from Autopsy of Jane Doe, right? He was good in this, so I really enjoyed it. It's just an evil government, trying to find these superhumans and whatnot. But I think they kind of treat that as like a reveal, isn't it? Like kind of like a reveal, like the first act. It just starts with them hiding. You're not quite sure like what's going on. It just slowly unravels, and you're like, oh, okay, so they got these powers, and the government's looking for them, and you got Bruce Dern in like an ice cream truck. You're not quite sure how you feel about him, if you can trust him or not. And so yeah, definitely worth checking out. This one's streaming on Tubi. And all these movies are 8 out of 10 or higher, by the way. So, The Laplace's Demon. This is a black and white Italian horror film. Very unique. This was a last second addition to the list. If I had made this list a week ago, this would not have been here. I'm glad I checked it out. If I told you what was taken out these characters one by one, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. So I'll leave that a mystery. Check it out. But this is a very unique film. I'll just say that. It's black and white, and it's, man, I don't want to describe it. I don't want to say what it is, like what's in the movie and where it's going, but it's interesting. That's all I'll say. I'll just leave you intrigued. I'll just tease you a little bit about it. Just check it out. Trust me, it's worth it. It Chapter 2. So, yeah, I reviewed this one, so yeah, check out my thoughts on it. I haven't seen it in a long time. All I remember disliking about it is the way they wrapped it up at the end. It's better than the It miniseries ending, but still, I wasn't a big fan of how they, ended the story here. But Pennywise was great in it, and the cast, the performances, very visually, good looking movie and well shot, but a little long, a little repetitive in the second act, but still worth checking out. I don't think it's as good as the first one, but still a very good movie. Harpoon. This is another recent watch, a couple months ago, and the ending. I remember the ending, even the opening. It was pretty funny, but it's one of those stranded one location films on a boat, and just the way they revealed certain things and then the way it concluded at the end was pretty funny. That's all I'll say. I don't want to spoil too much. It's just three people. I think it's like a love triangle or something. They're taking this person on the boat. I think they're like secretly trying to want to kill this guy, and this guy wants to kill them, or something like that. But yeah, just it's funny, and I just really liked where it went. I really enjoyed it. Good acting, independent film, low budget, just one location, just trapped in the middle of the ocean. So that's frightening. That would be my worst nightmare. Um, this chair is squeaky. Tigers are not afraid. I just bought the steel book for this one. Very good looking steel book and a very unique movie as well. Not a whole lot of horror elements in it, but just enough for me to consider putting it on the list. Very well made. This is a Spanish film. I think it's from Mexico, or might be Spain, but I think it's Mexico. And yeah, this is very unique. The visuals in it, and it's all kids, but that doesn't mean that they're safe. Like a lot of horror movies, some kids do die in this, and got a very it's got an imagination. It's very different. That's all I'll say. Check it out. It's definitely worth checking. Bliss from Joe Bagos, who did the recent Killer Santa Claus movie, and he did VFW. He did Mind's Eye, Almost Human. This is probably my second favorite from him. And I just remember this one being artsy, like hallucinogenics are involved, lots of like visions, or like this chick's like on drugs, and it gets a little weird, and there's lots of blood, and it's a very good looking movie. Soundtrack in all of his films is usually pretty good, and the main actress in this movie is in like all of his films, almost all of them. Forget her name, but yeah. If you like Joe Bagos movies and you haven't seen this one, definitely check it out because it's one of his best, in my opinion at least. Right? This is all my opinion. Doctor Sleep. Another controversial opinion. I prefer this one over The Shining, as of now. I've seen this movie twice. I've only seen The Shining maybe 3 or 4 times, and this one I just think is paced better. I like the story better. I've never been a fan of the whole Shining part of the original. But I like where they go with that story in this one, and they have all these other bad guys in it, and they're sucking like whatever out of the shining mist or whatever they're taking from these kids and people that have this power. And you got Alex Esso playing Shelley Duvall's character in the beginning, and she knocks it out of the park. She does a great impersonation of Shelley Duvall, and just great cast and great homages to The Shining. I love that the third act goes to the hotel, the Overlook, and yeah, just enough Easter eggs and little homages to the original, but not too many. And it's just, I think it's a better film in my opinion. In my opinion. I need to stop saying that. Of course, it's my opinion. This is all my opinion. Crawl from Alexander Aja. Is that how you say it? Is it Aja or Aja? How do you pronounce that? He's done a lot of remakes in the last 15 years since like The Hills Have Eyes, and he wrote the Maniac remake. He worked on that one, and yeah, this is a fun alligator movie. It's probably my favorite, although I haven't seen a lot of killer crocodile films and alligator films. I've seen Lake Placid, I've seen Rogue, I've seen Blackwater, but this is probably the best because it's just the most fun. Again, I love the way it's shot. I love the father-daughter relationship in this. It's another contained film. Just you're in a flooding basement in Florida, which I heard. I don't think there's many basements in Florida, if any, right? Isn't it like not a thing in Florida because of like the sea levels or whatever? Like there's no basements in houses in Florida, but whatever. This house has a basement. It's in Florida, and you got all these alligators going after them, and you got not only the threat of the gators, but you got the threat of drowning involved as well. So it's kind of like 47 meters down in the way. You're either going to drown or you're going to get eaten. So I like that. You get some good gory bits here and there, and the thieves getting killed. You see people just get ripped apart by multiple gators. So definitely delivers the gore. So fantastic gator film to check out. It's one of the best. Little Monsters, number 10, top 10 time, baby. So, Little Monsters, zombie comedy. That's my favorite kind of zombie movie is the comedy ones. And this is definitely up there, one of the best zombie comedies in recent memory. This, Dead Shack, the Zombieland films. Really enjoy these films. And the lead actress in this movie, she was in Us, and she's great in this. She has a different accent in this one. This is Australia. I believe. So it's a lot of Australian accents in this, and you got the guy from Frozen, the cartoon, not Adam Green's Frozen, um, and his character is quite hilarious in this. And I just love that in the whole film, the whole movie is just the adults know what's going on. They're like at a zoo, and there's zombies everywhere, but they're trying to hide the truth from these kids. They're like on a field trip, and they're just trying to keep the kids in like the dark. Like they can't know what's actually happening. They just tell them like don't pay attention. Like these are actors, they're not zombies. And so I just thought that was really funny. They're just trying so hard to keep these kids happy and not know what the hell is actually happening. So yeah, I like that premise and the comedy that comes from it. It's pretty funny. Number nine is another zombie film, another zombie comedy, Double Tap Zombieland 2. Uh, I'm not sure which one I prefer. I probably prefer the original, but they're just about neck and neck. There's a really cool shot in this movie, a long like one take shot, a lot of action, a lot of choreography. I love shit like that. And there's a lot of carnage in this, lots of zombie gore and monster trucks running over zombies. It's over the top. It's super fun. I love the cast in this film. You know, good continuity. You know, bringing back the same cast from part one. 10 years later, not sure what took so long to make this sequel, but I love that they brought them all back. And yeah, just I really enjoy these movies. They're so fun. I have a review for this one. So, Daniel Isn't Real, psychological horror film from the producers of Mandy. This is starring one of the actors from Halloween 2018. He's the lead guy in this one. And yeah, this is a supernatural horror movie with some psychological stuff going on. And I don't remember too much about it other than knowing that I loved it. Like this, I gave this a 9 out of 10. This is officially 9 out of 10 territory, and I remember loving this movie, loving the main character, the performances, and some of the like. I remember kind of feeling like Hellraiser, or like they go to like a different world, kind of like the further or something, like hell in the third act, and some of the visuals there, where it went. It's basically like about some kind of evil entity that's like taking over people, trying to make them kill people, and then once the person they've possessed dies, they kind of just move on to the next person or something like that from what I remember. But yeah, I love this movie, so check it out. I wish I wrote notes for these movies, but I didn't, so I'm just going off of memory. I See You. This is not listed as a horror movie wherever you look, but I think it counts. It's a thriller mystery horror about a child killer. And yeah, this is a very uh, twisty movie. Like, just a couple of awesome reveals. Like, you're not quite sure where it's going when it starts. Like, the way it opens, that opening scene, you're like, okay, you think it's this kind of movie, but then it goes into this territory, and just the way things are revealed in this, I thought was really interesting, and that's what makes the movie. It's just the way the story unfolds and where it goes, and it introduced me to a concept that I never knew was a thing. Apparently, there's a term that's used in this movie. I won't say what it is because then you'll look it up and you'll find out what the movie's all about. But yeah, I learned about something new from in this movie, and yeah, that's all I'll say. Just check it out. Great mystery. This was on Netflix recently. I'm not sure if it's still there, but if it is, yeah, you need to check this one out immediately. It is awesome. All these movies in my top 10 are awesome. Dry Blood. I'm probably on a desert island alone on this one. But that's because not many people have even seen this movie. On Letterboxd, it's like 300 people have logged it. More people need to see this. I reviewed this movie. I loved it. It's a psychological horror film, and it's got some very disturbing things in the third act. Uh, and yeah, I don't want to say too much about it. It's just this is a movie that when I watched it, it actually like made me lose sleep because I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was just one of those movies that I just kept coming up with different theories on like what was actually happening, like what the timeline was. Like I don't want to say too much about it, but just go into it knowing that it is a low budget film, very low budget, and the acting is not great. I've seen worse, much worse, but one actor in particular in this film is pretty wooden and not good. But if you can look past bad acting, I really liked the story and where it went in the end. It was quite disturbing. And yeah, this movie just it kept me up the first time I watched it, and I've seen it like 4 more times since. So I love it. It's quite good. And number where are we? Five, top five. The Perfection. This is another movie that's very twisty, like I See You. They make you think it's this kind of movie in the first act, and then it goes in this area, and then it goes back, and then holy shit! Like I love movies like that. That's why it's so high up on this list. And amazing performances from Allison Williams and Logan Browning, and there's a lot of lesbian scenes in this, and so yeah, I don't know why I said that, but if you like that, you might just want to check this movie out for that alone. But if that turns you off, then maybe you won't like it. I don't know, but yeah, there's a lot of lesbian sex in this movie, from what I remember in the beginning. But that's not why I love it so much. I love it because of the performances and the twists and turns that it takes, and what they reveal at the end. The ending shot of this movie, the end scene of this movie was pretty awesome as well. So that's all I'll say about it. Check it out on Netflix. Number 4, Midsommar, from the guy who made Hereditary, my number 1 of 2018. Love that movie, masterpiece. I was kind of disappointed when I saw this movie initially, just because how much I loved Hereditary. I was like expecting another Hereditary, and I didn't get it, so therefore I didn't like this movie that much. But I've seen this movie a few more times since, and I love it more and more each time I see it. Another movie with amazing performances, from the lead actress here, especially Florence Pugh, from the recent movie Oppenheimer, and she's just incredible in this. And I love the score of this film, the atmosphere, the cult. It's very creepy. It's a little long. It's longer than Hereditary. It's a little bit of a slow burn, but the opening scene is incredible. And just that just sets the tone, and it's very awesome. I love that opening. Yeah, check it out. I think I reviewed this movie as well, but that review was when I didn't like it that much. So maybe don't need to check that review out because it won't be accurate to how I feel now. Ready or Not. This is from the filmmakers who made the recent crappy Scream movies, Scream 5 and 6, but this is the good movie they made, Ready or Not, before they did those films. But I don't blame them. I don't blame the directors. The Scream 5 and 6, maybe, I don't know, maybe I should blame them, because I heard in one of the commentaries that they were responsible for certain people living when they were actually supposed to die in the script. But a lot of my issues lie with the scripts in Scream 5 and 6. Not necessarily the direction, but this movie that they directed, I thought was awesome. This is a very fun movie. I love Samara Weaving, and she's very attractive, very great actress from Australia. She did The Babysitter, one of my favorite movies from 2017, and I just thought this was a fun premise, kind of an interesting, maybe not too unique premise, but still fun. Like just people playing hide and seek, and if you get found, you get killed. So she has to, hide all night, and she doesn't realize what she's in for until it's too late. And then, yeah, I like where it goes. The third act, like the big reveal at the end. Like I like that this is a movie that makes you question throughout. Are these people, are they telling the truth? Like, is it really what they think it is? Like, because they say we made a pact with the devil and we gotta do this, otherwise something bad will happen. But you don't know if that's even true, and you don't know, if it is true, like what exactly will happen. So even that's interesting. Like, all right, if it is true, I wonder what exactly is going to happen to these people, because they don't know. They're like, we might burn, or this will happen, we'll get illnesses, but what actually happens to these people, like what is revealed at the end, and how it plays out was like a fist pump moment in the theater. I remember like everyone laughing in the theater. It was awesome. That's probably why this movie's so high up. Just that ending and Samara Weaving just makes this movie worth watching. Just look, the premise, the ending, and Samara, those three things right there. Check it out for those three things. Number two, this movie got a wide release in 2019. I think it premiered in Korea in 2017, but this movie is getting remade. Apparently, I think it already got remade in France. I think, and that's supposed to be coming out real soon. But this movie is very unique, and it's probably not even really a horror movie, but it's about making a horror movie. So that's why I felt comfortable putting it on the list. But I don't want to say anything about it. This is a movie where it only works not knowing where it goes. But I will say one thing, because maybe it'll interest you to watch it, is the reason why it's called One Cut of the Dead is because there is a 35-minute sequence that is actually one long take. And there's a lot of choreography, different moving parts, effects, and different things going on. Like that alone, that's amazing filmmaking. Like kudos to the filmmakers. And I mean, they had to do that one 35-minute long take multiple times to get it right, I imagine, right? I mean, that must have been a lot of pressure on the actors because if one person misses their mark and they fuck up, it's like we gotta go back to, we gotta go all the way back to the beginning. You gotta start over. So yeah, there's a 35-minute long one shot take. No hidden cuts. From what I read from when I watched the movie, I didn't see any hidden cuts. All one long take, and that's impressive. That is very impressive. But yeah, my only nitpick, without saying much, is just the second act of the film. After that one long take, there's just that middle section, but it's necessary. But I just wish it could have been trimmed a little, or just I don't know. It took the steam out of the movie a little bit. So yeah, that's all I'll say about it. Check it out, definitely. It's very unique. But number one is Child's Play. I know it's not the best movie, but that doesn't matter. It's my favorite movie from this year because I'm the Chucky guy. Chucky is the franchise that got me into horror. It's the franchise that gave me nightmares as a kid. I love Chucky, and I'm a diehard Chucky fan that loves the remake. And there's a lot of diehard Chucky fans out there like me who hate this movie because of the different approach, the whole AI thing. They got rid of the voodoo. But I'm like, it's a remake. It's a remake, so therefore, if you don't go too far away, I'm okay. They took elements from the original. They got the doll, still Chucky. The design of the outfit. It's still got the same outfit on. It looks, and the characters they still got the same names. It's Andy and Mrs. Barkley. But because it's a robot, like that automatically makes it shit. Like my only complaint with this movie is the face of Chucky. Like that they fucked up. Like that in the theater, it took me a while to get used to it. Like I was like maybe 30, 40 minutes in, I was still like a little distracted by his face. Like, Jesus Christ, I can't believe that's the face they went with. But whatever. Just looking past that, I think it's a very entertaining, fast paced, gory, well shot, well lit. Like the cinematography, the use of colors in this, the soundtrack. Oh my God. The score by Bear McCreary, the best in the series. Fucking love it. Buy it on vinyl. I love it. The kills, the gore, and the voice by Mark Hamill who does Chucky in this one. They didn't bring back Brad Dourif, it's a remake, so it's a reimagining. We got a different voice now, and I like the new voice. And yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. It's not my favorite in the series. I like the original trilogy the most, and then this one would probably be my number four. I kind of go back and forth with this one and Bride of Chucky, but I feel like the more I watch Bride of Chucky, the less I like elements of that film. Mainly just the human characters in that movie. But this one, I really love this movie. I think it's a good entry. So yeah, call it whatever you want, controversial, whatever. I don't care. I love this movie. I'm a diehard Chucky fan, and I give this movie my stamp of approval as a Chucky fan. I think if you're a Chucky fan and you still haven't seen this movie for some reason because people told you it was shit, I think you should still check it out. Like it's well worth it in my opinion. So yeah, I got a review for it. I got two reviews for this, spoiler and non-spoiler, and yeah, just I love it. Number one, easily without a doubt. It was like Hereditary for 2018. Like I knew going into this list, like nothing's beating Child's Play for me, just because of my love for the series, the love of the character, and just this was easily my number one. Even though some of the other movies I know are better made, doesn't matter. Like One Cut of the Dead, that should have been my number one realistically, because that's just a much better, made movie. Like, it's impressive what they did, and the idea very different and original. But if I had to sit down and watch a movie right now, which one am I gonna watch? Child's Play or One Cut of the Dead? I'm watching Child's Play. All right, like 9 out of 10 times. So yeah, Child's Play is my number one. I love how I always say, let's try to make it quick, but then I can never shut the fuck up. And I just keep talking and talking and talking until my throat hurts. But let me just shout out movies without talking about them. Let me give some honorable mentions, because there's a lot of movies I checked out from this year. Record of Sweet Murder, check that one out. That's a Korean found footage movie, just like One Cut of Dead. The whole movie, I don't think it really was one cut, but they make the whole movie look like it's one cut. Just one long take. A Record of Sweet Murder. Check that out. Nightmare Cinema. Not found footage. Anthology. Nightmare Cinema. Bloodline with Sean William Scott. And so, yeah, a little connection to Wrath of Becky. Us. Jordan Peele's Us. Probably. No, I would say I like Get Out more than Us. Braid, movie with a good twist. And The Pool, another alligator movie. I think that one's Indonesian. It's a foreign movie. Escape Room, I really enjoy that one. And Tumbad, how's that spelled? Tumbad. Tumbad. I think that's from India. That one was very interesting and unique also, but it just was a little slow in some parts. Villains, Bill Skarsgård in it, and the chick from what's it called? It Follows, and Life Changer, Piercing. In this film, The Black Forest, another foreign film, and The Curse of La Llorona. I know a lot of people don't like that one, but I rewatched it since I saw it in the theaters in 2019. I just rewatched it earlier this year, and I still liked it. Haunt. I don't like that movie as much as other people, but I still think it's worth checking out around Halloween. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and Satanic Panic, and Happy Death Day 2, You, and Tone Death from the guy who did Excision. All right, so let's get to some shit. I mean, there's all these other movies I saw that are okay to meh. I'm not going to shout them out because I don't like them that much. All right, so bad movies, ones I did not like. 47 Meters Down, the sequel. Wasn't a fan of that one. Wasn't a fan of Annabelle Comes Home. Did not like Trick. And did not like Ma. Welcome to Ma's. And In the Tall Grass, Stephen King movie. That one just did not work for me. I thought it was boring. 3 from Hell, Rob Zombie movie. Probably my least favorite Rob Zombie movie. No, 31. 31. I really did not like 31. The Lighthouse. This is one that would make everyone's critics top 10 list of the year. But fuck, sometimes good performances are not enough to save a movie, and I don't care how good the performances are in The Lighthouse. That movie just bored me to tears. Polaroid, not a fan of that one. Pet Sematary remake. That trailer just fucking ruined the switcheroo that they did in that one. Starfish. I don't even remember that movie that well. I think it was just boring. I don't even know what the fuck it was about. Just one person the whole time in one room. It was boring. But the worst movie, the worst of the worst, and I've actually reviewed it, so you can hear my rant there. I'll save it for that because this video is long enough. I just want to give a quick fuck you to I Spit on Your Grave, Deja Vu. Yeah, fuck that movie. One of the worst sequels ever made. All right. And 2.5 hours long of misery. So, what's your list? Let me get rid of that. There we go. So what's your list? What's your top 19? What's your favorite movie of 2019? What are your thoughts on Becky 2, Barn 2, Horror in the High Desert 2? Let me know in the comments below. And my next video, don't know when it'll come out, but it will be my top 20 of 2020. So look forward to that. And so yeah, that's all I got to say. Adios.